Good happy Tuesday morning, May 17, 2022. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Tuesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, severe thunderstorms cause power outages, damage across southwestern New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For over 25 years, Bellegarde has paved the way in the hardscapes industry, providing customers.
Well, Monica, not a whole lot we can see due to the darkness out here, but take a look behind us. There are several crews going up and down Route 12 here in North Charlestown. They're working on restoring power. There were several power lines that were snapped in those high winds earlier this evening. We're told that about 4,100 people statewide are currently without power. Now, again, these crews, they're going to be working on these lines all night long. It just started raining here in North Charlestown as well, so they're in for a soggy night ahead of them. But again, we're told they'll be continuing to work throughout the night. Parts of Route 12 are still blocked off to traffic, but some of the roads have been reopening in the last half hour or so. So we're going to continue checking out some of the damage around here. We'll report back with what we find. But for now, live in North Charlestown, Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And a possible tornado appears to have touched down in North Charlestown, but it is not yet confirmed by the National Weather Service. The National Weather Service will be sending a team there today. Doctors urge families to find healthy alternatives aimed baby formula shortage. Let's take a listen to that video right now.
For over 25 years, Bellegarde has paved the way in the hardscapes industry, providing customers.
Many store shelves once filled with formula are bare, and parents are desperate to feed their babies. The perfect storm of a safety recall at a major manufacturer and supply chain disruptions have led to the shortage. Something Catholic Medical Center pediatrician Dr. Jennifer Packard says families in New Hampshire are certainly feeling.
It's one of those things where sometimes they go into the store and they can find some formula. It's not necessarily the one they're looking for, and then other times the shelves are bare.
And it can be pretty frustrating for families, but turning to alternatives like homemade formula or even cow's milk is not a good idea. According to the chief neonatologist at Wentworth Douglas Hospital, low sodium levels can cause brain swelling and even seizures. Too much of other proteins can also have dire consequences.
If there's too much of an electrolyte like potassium, that can put babies at increased risk for cardiac conduction abnormalities.
Both Drs. Rouse and Packard urge people to talk to their pediatricians about good alternatives.
There are donor breast milk banks, too, that people can tap into, and that's another resource.
And more formula may soon be available. The White House says it's taking new steps to get product on shelves, including working with manufacturers to increase production, increasing safe imports of formula from other countries, and coordinating with retailers to get product to areas of the country at a critical risk.
Our goal is to make sure that children have what they need and that parents can have some peace of mind knowing that their children have formula.
Now, it's expected to be about 6 to 8 weeks before Abbott is back to full manufacturing and distribution. In the meantime, the Surgeon General says there are resources like hhs.gov/formula, as well as the site from the American Academy of Pediatrics, healthychildren.org. We're live in Manchester. I'm Nicole Lally, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Complex of fires burn more than 100 acres around Crawford Notch State Park. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
The past year has tested the toughness of every last one of us. Mahindra tractors have Charlie, another fire making up Bemis, affects about 35 acres. Bravos, an additional 16 acres. Officials say all three of these fires started at around the same time and make up about 106 acres total.
There was potential for much more fire growth had that rain not come in the first day.
Adrian Reyes with the New Hampshire Division of Forest and Lands says the goal now is to put out the remaining fire before conditions get very dry again. But where these fires are located doesn't make the fight easy.
The terrain, that really steep terrain makes it really hard to get personnel there and to get water there. So most of the work we're having to do is without any water, just using hand tools, shovels, Pulaskis, those type of things to dig fire line.
Another hazard, according to Reyes, standing dead trees, many of them ablaze. Firefighters now using chainsaws to get them down. While officials don't yet know what caused the fire to start, they say as of Monday afternoon, it's 25% contained. And right now, everyone in the area is encouraged to remain attentive to prevent any human-caused wildfires from starting. Officials say the number one priority remains the safety of the public and of firefighters. Reporting in Crawford Knox State Park, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Rising diesel prices put pressure on New Hampshire farmers. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For over 25 years, Bellegarde has paved the way in the hardscapes industry, providing customers.
Right here is our diesel fill station. This thing is a 500-gallon tank right here.
At Sunnycrest, diesel fuel is the lifeline for this 100-acre family-owned farm.
We need our tractors. We need our machinery. It's I can't jump on a horse and start plowing a field like we did back in the 1800s.
Unfortunately, there's no way to turn back the clock for the cost of diesel fuel. Hicks says a year ago, the farm paid $2.75 for a gallon of diesel. Now, it's more than double that at $6.40.
It's definitely a domino effect. It goes from everything, not just tractors. We have pumps that pump our whole orchard full of irrigation, and that's all run by diesel.
Hicks says they're paying 60% more for pesticides and herbicides and 50% more for fertilizer.
Some of those big seasons coming up, you want to make sure they're good. A lot of money goes into it that people do not see.
This June will be crucial to Sunnycrest's bottom line. Their strawberry season is one of their most profitable.
If things continue the way they are, we might just break even. And then, I'm farming for free. It can get scary at times that you need to have a beautiful, successful season to make sure that these fuel prices, you're making up for it.
So far, the cost of doing business has not affected the retail side of things. And with a little bit of luck, hopefully, Sunnycrest Farms will have fruitful seasons to come. Reporting in Londonderry, Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Nearly 30 arrests made as crowds fill Hampton Beach over hot weekend. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
I think what sets us apart is the fact that our technicians live and breathe only chimneys. It's not a part of our company. It is.
A very quiet, foggy Monday at Hampton Beach. Most businesses closed, pretty typical leading up to Memorial Day. A sharp contrast to this past weekend, the first of the season's really nice weather. Beaches packed, including Friday. And in a scene similar to this time last year, some issues with groups of young people who planned through social media to meet here.
Throughout most of the day, the groups were on the sand. They were fine, and it wasn't until we started to see some fights within inside the group that we understood that we needed to move forward and disperse those.
Several disorderly conduct arrests in that process. A total of 29 arrests through the weekend, most alcohol-related. Donald Watkins isn't surprised.
It's just a different time with a different set of kids.
52 years ago, he spent his Lowell High School skip day and graduation party here.
We met at the lifeguard stand and we partied all night. Some of us didn't make it home because we were doing the illegal, childish stuff.
He doesn't downplay the arrests. In fact, most are glad police are proactive, preventing injuries and property damage.
we want people to know that if you're coming to Hampton and you're going to violate our laws and not respect our community, that we will be out looking to arrest and prosecute.
Now, police do want to emphasize that while the public will see beefed up patrols as we get into those hot weather weekends, they do recognize that the vast majority of visitors are law-abiding. We're live at Hampton Beach. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Authorities investigate Buffalo shooting suspect's background. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Don't like surprises? Proactive notifications from Fidelity keep you tuned in all day long. So when something happens that could affect your portfolio, you can act quickly. That's Decision Tech, only from Fidelity.
The investigation and the growing questions about the warning signs missed. The suspect interacting with law enforcement around the time of his high school graduation just a year ago. His alleged threats at the time, and tonight what's now been found. What was put online just 2 weeks ago. And the question was the suspect's plan out there weeks before this horrific attack. ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas on what he's learned tonight. He's right here in Buffalo with us.
In this photo, he looks like any other high school senior, Peyton Gendron, riding in his school's graduation parade. But what law enforcement sources tell ABC News is that in the days before that photo was taken, something happened that raises serious questions about red flags and missed signals. They say that shortly before graduation, Gendron was assigned to write a paper about his plans. He referenced committing murder-suicide. The school called the state police.
The individual was brought in for a mental health evaluation. He was evaluated and then he was released.
There was an investigation, but no charges were ever filed. Today, the local district attorney tells ABC News his office is sometimes notified by schools about similar incidents, but not this time. Quote, the school chooses to handle it the way it chose to handle it, he tells us. No comment from the school tonight. Former classmates we spoke to described Gendron as smart but quiet. Nathan Twitchell and Cassandra Williams described one particularly odd incident.
Once COVID hit, he wasn't ever really at school, other than once, right when we came back, he showed up in like a hazmat type suit. Full hazmat suit.
What was your reaction to that?
I mean, everyone was just staring at him.
Tonight, authorities believe Gendron was living two lives. One in the pleasant suburb where he grew up, the other in the darkest reaches of the internet. Law enforcement sources tell us the newly revealed 589-page document indicates that shortly after graduation, the teenager began posting messages on the social media platform Discord, spelling out his plan of attack. He wrote about body armor and taunted federal law enforcement. It's unclear who had access to the posts or who saw them. According to the Washington Post, the 589-page document laying it all out was anonymously uploaded to a file-sharing site called Mediafire on April 29th, 2 weeks before the attack. David, sources tell us that the suspect initially posted those plans on a private group on the social media site Discord. It's unclear tonight who, if anyone, had access to that group. But you can be sure this will be a key focus for FBI officials as they try to determine whether other people knew an attack was coming, David.
That, of course, is the major question tonight. Pierre, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Thank you for tuning in for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye.